Hi guys, today we're bringing you the first half of our insulated window shades, and here's Sven.
Good morning. So today I'm trying to tackle the windows. Since we kept all our windows, that's where we're going to have the most significant heat loss. So what we want to do is actually build drawers, slides, shades, whatever you want to call them, in front of the windows which are insulated. So here I just stacked up kind of a couple of scrap pieces which we have left over from the floors and the walls, and I wanted to try to visualize what I'm trying to do because we don't really have a plan. This would be one slide, and you see the insulation peeking out behind here. That's what's under it, right? So this will be fixed to the 1/4-inch panel, and it will slide on here. So why do I have two on here is because the wall panels around the wheel wells and the gas cap and the rear bench, I don't have enough depth for window slide to come up, which is about 24 inches, I believe. So what we need to do is we need to stack them and pull up half, and then it pulls up the other half, right? It's kind of a friction fit in here, and it just slides up and down. And then we have the second one right on top of this. So then you picture this going up. As it is halfway, it pulls up the other with it. I'm not entirely sure yet how I'm going to make that mechanism work. I'm thinking probably just like a strap on the bottom, which then can hang loose, which has the right height to then just pull it up with it. I want to keep that simple and don't have any weird mechanisms in there. And then, you pull it halfway up and the window is covered, right? And then you would push this back down. If I have a strap only on the bottom here, then of course it wouldn't push it back down. But of course what you can do, as this goes further down, you can just push both down at the same time, right? So that's what I'm thinking. This is going to be for 12 windows. It's going to be like that with the two slides. And then for, I think, 9 or 10 windows, we're going to be able to go all the way down, right? So this height is enough to cover the entire window. But here, it isn't. So that's why we need to double them up. And where we don't need to double them up, we're going to have a similar concept. So right here, right, these windows where they have all the space available, we're going to have a similar concept where we stack these up, just like I just showed you, and we have the slides in here. However, what we're going to do is not 2 layers of insulation, but I'm going to have 1 layer of Lexan or plexiglass, probably polycarbonate sheets, those honeycomb ones, because they're slightly see-through. I actually got the idea from Hank Built the Bus, one of the probably most popular pioneers in our space. So shout out to you, Hank. He had Lexan, no, he had polycarbonate panels to just as a privacy sheet, but you can't see through, right? So I like that. I have one panel which is just a privacy sheet, and then the other which is insulation. So for the winters or for the hot summer days, we can decide on which ones we want on these 10 full-length windows. So that's the idea. I'm really not sure how this is gonna go yet.
So, like many of the things on our bus build, he jumped right in, and there was a lot of cutting.
Just made a little jig, which I can put my 27-inch long pieces in, just like this, which has exactly the angle I need. And that's what I push this through here. We'll cut it just like I need it.
Now constructing a prototype so we can do a test fitting. And our test box looks good. Now there's just a mere 47 more of these angled pieces to cut to construct our boxes. Next step, once all of those angled pieces are cut, is to plane everything so they're nice and straight and smooth. Last step for those angled pieces to be ready is to give them a good sanding. And back to cutting. Over the course of a few days, Sven cut a few hundred pieces of wood so that he would have all the pieces necessary to construct the boxes. And almost everything he used was left over from our walls and flooring, so it had to be cut down. And then all of these pieces needed to be sanded as well.
Okay, so after hours of sanding, let's see what we're doing here with all of this stuff. So this first stack are front faces, which are the best looking pieces. These are going into the middle. These as well. These are just a little bit shorter. I'll show you that in a second. These are same thing. I needed 72 pieces of those because we need 4 each per one of those box sections, which we're gonna put on the windows. So 72 of these, and then 36, I think, of the 2-inch pieces. So those are 4 inches wide. Well, all of these, right? 4 inches wide, and those are 2 inches wide. And what we're gonna build with that is like this. So it's a box section with 2 recessed slider tracks. And if you look at the face of this, you have 4 inches wide and then 2 inches in the middle, which effectively creates that slider track. And we have to double them up right next to these adapter sticks, is what I'm gonna call them, to get to the same width on here, right? So you see we needed one to get to the same depth with the bottom wall, and then we have one more on here, and then we have the slider pieces going in up and down in here. So this is what we're going to build, and I made a little jig. Here just to lay everything in there and make it easier to make, you know, a 24 or something of those. So you saw these before, you saw me make these. And it's just a slot on the left and on the right. See here, just one on the left, one on the right. Just so I can slide them in real nice tight fit. And then we start with layering in 2 on the bottom, 2 of the 4-inch pieces. Put these in. Then we're gonna put in a 2-inch piece in the middle, of course, so that we can ensure that that actually stays in the middle. We made 2 adapters, 1 inch each on each side. Then we're gonna put another 4-inch on top. We're gonna put another 2-inch adapter pieces again. Make sure they're all aligned all the way on the bottom. And then we're gonna put the front face on top. Those are the ones which are looking the nicest, like I just mentioned. And that's it. That's our stack. And then we're gonna end up actually gluing this with wood glue and finish nailing all of this together. So in 2 phases, we're actually gonna nail the 2 bottom pieces down first, right? So these 2, gonna nail those down first, and then we're layering in the rest and nailing that down. So it's a bit of a process for each of those, but with this jig, it should be, you know, somewhat fast.
So like you said, there's 24 of these to construct, and once that was done, he started installing them. And here's a look at the first few of them installed. There's a lot more work to be done, so stay tuned for part 2.